miss the old days. You know, the days where you used to go outside, hop on your bike, drive to your friend's house, knock on the door, see if they can come out. You know, I remember Thanksgiving, man. I used to travel to go see family, go see my cousins, grandmas, uncles, aunts, and have Thanksgiving with them. Christmas, you know, it felt like snow fell everywhere in the world. And it's like you go outside and have fun with your friends, and holidays really felt like holidays. Now, it feels like, you know, if you grew up in the 90s, all of that is gone. There's no more like home welcoming feeling anymore. It's like, you know, Sundays, I feel like you used to be able to go outside. People were walking around the neighborhood, outside with their kids. You would see kids outside having a good time, throwing the football, you know, whatever it is. But now I just feel like the old days vibes and energy is just completely gone. People don't know how to have fun anymore. You know, kids aren't kids anymore. You know, everything is tablets, games, computers, electronics, social media. I just feel like the good old energy of growing up and just living and enjoying life is gone. And I feel like we've done it to ourselves, but in the same sense, it's just crazy that people just don't seem to be people anymore. And it's sad.
Kidcali, thank you for taking the time to be on this podcast.
Of course, of course. Thank you for having me.
So tell me a little about you. Let's start on your background. Where were you born and where did you grow up? How did the environment shape the way you see life today?
Originally, I'm from California, San Diego. I was probably there maybe all of 3 or 4 years. Parents were in the military, so they kind of moved around a lot. So it wasn't just in like one place. Life for me is it's always just been in different places.
Hmm.
Seeing different aspects of life, being around all different types of, you know, races, doesn't really matter, the background, white, black, foreign. I've always kind of been in like melting pot areas, which well, I've always felt like, I've always had a huge diverse of friends. I never just gravitated towards, one group of people.
Hmm.
I've always wanted to, make as many friends as I possibly could.
Hmm.
Life for me growing up, I wouldn't say was hard, and not saying that, there weren't times that, my family didn't struggle, but, my parents did the best that they could to give me, the life that they could. So, growing up, I've seen both of my parents work really hard. So, that aspect of working hard and wanting to achieve things in life, was always embedded in me as a kid, seeing that in my parents. And as I got older, it kind of just transpired over, into me stepping into finding music, as my first, love. And from there, a lot of things just kind of transpired to where we're at today. But I would say growing up, just all around, you know, just just seeing hard work pretty
Hmm.
much, and being
Hmm.
motivated to get up every day and do something, that you love.
Hmm. What are some struggles you had to face early in life that forced you to grow faster than what you wanted to?
Um I would say I haven't really had like anything that's a crazy struggle that I would say in life, that stopped me from moving forward. I would say there's just things personally within myself, that just having the confidence. Confidence is first off, the number one thing,
Mhm.
that you have in yourself, and being able to go through life, growing up and seeing kids maybe that were more athletic when, I was
Mhm.
in basketball, than me, making varsity and I'm on JV, and just getting over the
Mhm.
simple fact that, hey, maybe this just wasn't the year for me. I ran track. I was excellent
Mhm.
at track when I was in elementary and then going into middle school, but I kind of fell out of the track phase. I would say probably somewhere around seventh grade. But I would say that was the first thing, just understanding in life early that having that self-confidence, stepping in the direction and not really worrying about what somebody else is thinking about you is
Mhm.
always key. And
Mhm.
then, still to this day, like this is something that I feel like is a constant thing that we work on, just having that love for yourself, being
Mhm.
able to wake up and, look in the mirror and tell yourself like, hey, I love me for me.
Mhm.
It's some people, it's hard to do that, wake up and love who they are the way that they are without needing to change something about them. Like knowing that, hey, the way that you are is just perfect. But that's hard to do sometimes in life, and it's like, that's a battle, still, like I said, every day. I mean, it's an easier battle for me, but to make sure that I love myself first, always have that love, at the end of the day. And if I'm able to love myself truly, then I'm able to truly love someone else,
Mhm.
because at the end of the day, I love me first. So that love that I'm giving to someone else is genuine. And those two things I would say would probably be like the biggest things, starting from a younger age and even to being 35, like
Mhm.
doing what I do now, just understanding that like, hey, those two things right there, as long as we keep those two things grounded, we're always good.
Mhm. Now, what you just said is something big and profound, that you have to love yourself first, because right now, in the times that we're living, you got these kids and teens who are on social media 24/7 every single day, and
Yeah.
they see this fake image from celebrities and other people who are living their so-called life, and a lot of these people are faking certain lifestyles because of social media. And then you got these kids out here who fall under depression,
Yep.
suicidal thoughts, because they can't be like so and so.
And I've been a huge advocate of, the funny thing about life is a lot of those like cheesy sayings that our parents would tell us, like, oh, you'll see when you get older.
Hmm.
We're
Hmm.
young, we overlook those things a lot. And it's not until like you really get older and it's like, wow, like, okay, you really have to go through this. And it's like, that's the thing about social media. Like, I feel like before social media, because, I was born in the 90s. So it's
Hmm.
like, you know, being bored for us was fun. Like just sitting with our friends, being
Hmm.
outside,
Hmm.
absolutely nothing to do. But for
Yes,
some
sir.
reason, that
Hmm.
was like the funnest thing to do. And we would be outside all day doing it.
Hmm.
We didn't like, we actually had real athletes to look up to. We had the cereal box that we used to read in the morning that
Right.
gave us inspiration, like
Hmm.
something to look forward to.
Hmm.
Now that shift of social media, it's not an inspiration of like, hey, look what you can be. It's like, oh, look what you can have. Look at all the materialistic things that I
Hmm.
have. Look at
Right.
my diamonds, look at the money, look at my
Hmm.
fancy car. And it's
Hmm.
like social media stripped getting people to believe in themselves.
Right.
Like love who
I
you are.
agree.
Like you have people that one day they look like this, the next day they're this. And it's
Hmm.
like,
Hmm.
how it's like you got people that are just wanting to keep up
Hmm.
with so much and they forget to like slow down,
Mm-hmm.
and keep up with yourself. Majority of those things that you see, how do you know if it's real? And I'm not gonna
Mm-hmm.
lie, like when I used to be on social media in the, very beginning, it's like, man, like as me being a rapper, I see all these rappers. I was like, God,
Mm-hmm.
like now I can see, like I'm seeing it all the time. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, dang, I want my life to be like that. Like I've been doing this for 4 or 5 years. Like how come
Mm-hmm.
I'm not having the type of success that they're having? And it's like you gotta realize, like it hit me like everybody has their time. Like there's millionaires made tomorrow. There's millionaires made 3 months from now. There's millionaires made a year from
Mm-hmm.
now. It's that the time frame that the man has upstairs for me is like, hey, we got work to do. I need to make sure you're
Amen. Mm-hmm.
established before,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I can start walking you through these type of doors. And the first break was going to the Grammys. And
Mm-hmm.
that's when a lot of things for me, like light bulbs started going off. Because again, those cheesy sayings that people say is like, oh, well, you'll never know what it's like until you're there. Well, that's true. And when I say this, not unless you're in the same field as me, you're working as hard as me, or you just know somebody that can get you in the position. Some of the things that I've done, people will never be able to do. So you'll never be able to get to see that side of like how people say like, oh, there is another side to things. You just got to be able to be on that other side. And once I walked through the door and I was around all these stars, it hit me like, I'm like, wow, I was looking at these guys for all the wrong thing. Like he's really not a cool person.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's really a self-centered idiot. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's like, and this is somebody that I've been listening to ever since I was in middle school. Like and it put this perspective in my head that like the people that we watch on these apps aren't even real. So then the perspective of social media for me just became very easy to understand. Like, definitely don't believe everything that you see on these apps, but it's hard because people, they want to live these type of lifestyles, and it might not even want to be to that extreme, but just want to be able to take a nice trip, but can't. They live in a certain part of the world where jobs aren't as accessible how they are in the US. Like there's a lot of things, and it's like I don't fault anybody for feeling a certain way because everybody has the right to feel how they want to.
Right.
But I feel like that feeling and then the projection of these role models that keep putting like, look at my money, look at this. It's like it gets deeper and deeper and deeper into us that it's like, man, the only way that I can be cool or the only way that I can be successful is if I have what they have. And then the youth that we have, that's why you see just the youth now, everybody wants to be a streamer. Everybody wants to be a content creator. Everybody wants to be the same, which is nothing wrong with that. Cool. Be a streamer, be a content creator, but don't just be another copy and paste of another content creator or a streamer. And when I look at you and I look at him, I don't see anything different. Y'all are like, it's like there's no authentication in what it is that you're doing. You're just trying to, you see money, you see what this person is benefiting from, and you're just trying to do the exact same thing. But realistically, there's nothing real behind it.
Right.
So it's definitely deep. And that's why I say, loving yourself is very important in the time that we live in.
Is there a season in your life where you felt lost, discouraged, or unsure of your purpose? What helped you get through the season?
I feel like everybody kind of goes through, these seasons. And I feel like as a guy, it's always when it comes to, I would say, like relationships, once you're out of a relationship and it's like you find yourself by yourself, was in a relationship, got out of a relationship, and it was like, this is when I got to find time for myself. it's like I've been working so hard on this music. I've been having this, like I said, brand, but I'm not exactly sure, okay, am I doing it the right way? Is there another way that I should be doing it? And just by having just time to myself for a few years to really sit back and like look at all what I've done and then look at, okay, what more work do we have to do and where are we trying to go? That was when a lot of things changed for me. I realized within myself, like I said, when it came to social media, idolizing things that really aren't things that I need to be idolizing. Cool, let's get that out. Then from there, just things within myself, you know, as a person, as me, as an individual, it's like putting my emotions in certain aspects, like, hey, I need to put my emotions over here when it comes to certain conversations, when it comes to business or when it comes to my craft, and not taking it so serious. Understanding that people are giving me constructive criticism on how far I've already came. And they're like, hey man, like you got to understand, like yes, you have music, but the music isn't everything. And it was like, what do you mean? Like the music has got me here. They're like, okay, great, cool. But what do you stand for? Like, what is your value? Like, if we were to invite you to the round table and sit at the table, like, what do you have more than music? And that was a battle within itself because it was hard for me to understand. I'm like, well, I thought the music is the brand. It's like, that's what I got. Like MDMG, yes, it was there, but it wasn't like MDMG, like money doesn't mean greatness. Money, it was just like, nah, this is just a saying that I believe in. Like this is what I believe in. And that was when everything, those few years went by. And then I got that realization when my aunt introduced me to someone that she knew that was from California. And when this was the year when like the BT, the Grammys, BT Awards, Revolt Awards, Oscars, Billboard Awards, they were all in Vegas. They were testing out Vegas, you know, when it came to award shows. And this was still, like I said, you know, still kind of like coming out. I was like 80% of like, okay, clear-headed, like, great, we're back making music constantly, like, cool. I'm really pushing MDMG at this point, not to the point of like, oh, I'm making it a brand and all. Well, I mean, it's a brand, but not to the point to where it was like coming out with merch stuff like that. Just like, hey, this is
marketing,
like money does not mean greatness to me. Like this is what I stand for. So when I was invited, like I said, to the Grammys and I was out there, boom, and I started networking, meeting all these great people, being in these rooms, asking questions. And we were at Malik. So his name's Malik, and he's a producer for, he produced, I think, Donda 1 and Donda 2 for Kanye West. He was having like, actually, I think it was for Donda 2, but it was like a release party. And there was like interviews going on. There were people from iHeart, the executive, Jamal was at iHeart. And I end up, you know, he had like a little like seminar that he did live, you know, at the mansion. And, you know, I'm like, wow, like this guy's talking about artists, people he's working with. Now, mind you, some of the artists that are under iHeart are there. So it's like, you know, they're speaking as well. So after it got done, you know, I go over and I'm like, hey, you know, I start talking to him. Then from there, you know, once I got back home, end up reaching out to him and, you know, kind of hop on a Zoom call and we start talking. And he's like, bro, you're missing the whole entire thing. Like, he's like, bro, MDMG is your brand. He's like, your music, bro, is what's gotten you here. He's like, that's what you do naturally. That's your natural talent. But MDMG is your brand. Like that is what you stand for. He's like, he's like, you've leaned into it, but you haven't you're not fully understanding on like why you need to lean in. And for him, if it wasn't for him, the journey 3 years ago of really starting to turn MDMG to where it is now would not be where it is, because he got me to understand through conversation. Like, bro, that music, like, take yourself away from the music, bro. He's like, you make music easily. That is what you do. If someone asks you to make a song, that's what you do. That's something that all the artists do. You can go on Spotify, Apple Music, you can download your music literally for free. Your music is free everywhere. But your brand and what you stand for is not.
Right.
And that's when it hit me. He's like, money doesn't mean greatness, bro. He's like, that stands for multiple different things. That does not just stand for you. He's like, that's just like, just do it. Nike, Gatorade. It does not stand for just go play sports. Just get up every day. If you want to be better at your job, just do it. You want to be a better person, just do it. You want to be a better athlete, just do it. Means multiple things. The same thing how money doesn't mean greatness. That spin, he's like, that is not attached to you. People don't buy into brands that are attached to the owner. People don't go buy Louis Vuitton and Fendi and all these name brands because they know who made it. They're like, oh yeah, because Jeff Lozando, that's in a made up name, but I'm just trying to say something fancy. But it's just like, no one is buying that stuff because of that person. They're buying it because it's one, a high value. Not everybody can buy this. It's a status thing when you have it. Also, it's a very nice product. So it's the same kind of concept of what I started to understand and learn, that it's like, oh, market my product for what it stands for the right audience. And that's when it hit me to understand, like, take myself out of it, just focus on the music, but the brand will grow the brand, and then from there, let it expand.
So when life felt heavy and overwhelming, what kept you going instead of giving up? What gave you that push to can't give up? I got to keep moving.
The dream,
Gotta
bro.
get it.
The dream. Like, we've made it this far. Like, why would I stop? Like, I've already put in all these years, so putting in more and more years is just what we got to do. Like, there's no reason on why I'm gonna change how I'm doing things. Like, and from that, it just let me know that I just have to stay motivated. Like, not every day is gonna be perfect. We're gonna have our up and down battles. We're going to have, like I said, rough days. That's what it's about. And noticing that, like I said, every so often I get that DM like, hey, I appreciate I appreciate that song. I appreciate, the messages that you put out on your TikTok. Those always hit home for me to understand that, like, oh no, we got to keep going. Like, and at the end of the day, seeing the people that are close to me, the one thing about what I've always learned, I'm a huge, person of a believer that, like, titles are titles. And what I mean by that, some people might not agree with this, and it's fine, but hear me out. Titles are titles. Family is just a fancy word for people that is just seeing you grow up and you guys have the same blood. Outside of that, like I said, a best friend is a fancy title that somebody labeled. They had a long relationship with somebody that actually was their best friend. They were like, you know what? Best friend. What I started to understand is that through titles, that people think they know what you're capable of, or like what you can, your peaks of where you can go, because they saw they've seen you grow up since you were a baby. And it's like, sometimes that puts a cap on us when we have our family telling us, Like, oh no, like I've seen you grow up, like everything that you tried, like, you know, you just gave up on, or like you never stay consistent in something. You're always those things stop you from breaking that ceiling. And for
gives you
me,
that limit. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
I quickly understood that, like, family can just be just like a regular friend, somebody who's here today, gone tomorrow. And I'm not talking about being alive. I'm talking about how many homies, like I said, yo, you my bro, bro, get in one argument, disagree with him, gone. Ain't talked to him since 2000. Like, and it's like, that is what I mean by, then I started to understand that if I put everybody in a bucket together and take a label off of it and just understand that family is just going to take a little bit longer of work for me to prove that, like, oh, you thought I was joking. Oh, oh, okay, great. We hit a wall, but you thought I wasn't going to get over. That is the only difference with family and friends. You just got to keep going with family to get them change to understand. I've literally, the closest two people, mom and dad. You got to understand, when you go to your mom and dad and you're telling them that you want to do something, especially on an extravagant level, not telling you that they don't believe you, but they're like, let me sit back and watch this. Let me see how this goes. So from that, it's like, first few years, it's like, okay, cool. I see you doing this music thing. Okay. You doing music. Okay. 4 years in, okay, like, I see you doing music still. You're still doing it. 6 years in, oh, you serious? Like, you really serious about this? Let me hear a song. This you? Yeah, this is what I've been working on for 6 years. Like, yeah, you was hearing it develop, because, like I said, parents is, and what I've learned is it's not disrespect. See, people take these things as disrespect. No, they're your parent. They have watched you do something for years and change in a heartbeat. But when you find something that you're passionate about, see, people don't understand. It's not about what you're doing. It's about showing them the growth in what you're doing. When somebody, do you not understand how many people rap? There's a whole bunch of people that rap. Now, the difference of the people, why they say there's talent, that's, oh, better talent than the talent that's actually in the industry, is very true. The only difference between the talent that's in the industry that you think is garbage is that, sad enough, they have a brand. It's brandable. Whether you like it or not, there's a mass amount of people, young or old, whatever you want to take it for, that are buying into something. So when that happens, guess what that does? That outbeats somebody that just has talent. Talent isn't everything.
That's true.
You could be the most talented person in the world, but if somebody is slightly less talented than you are, but is willing to outwork you every day, you want to work 5 days a week, but this other person that's really dedicated 7 days a week. This is the analogy that I always give, and then I'm going to circle back to where I was rounding all of this to, is that the thousandaires are the ones who work Monday through Friday. They make 100,000. They worth 300,000, 500,000, 600,000. Like, don't get it twisted. They're those, that 1% Monday through Friday that's making the millions from the job. That's high up, and that's years and years of you being at that job. But Monday through Friday, thousandaires. Monday to Saturday, those are your millionaires. You got your millionaires and multi-millionaires. Sunday to Sunday, billionaires. They're constantly working around the clock, constantly, always moving around. So what I learned, that when I started this, that my family and friends, they've seen me for so long. I constantly got to keep moving. Constantly. I got to clock in Sunday to Sunday. Like, I can't be a Monday to Friday. Like, in the beginning, I was a Monday to Friday. And there's still times where I do slip and I'm a Monday to Friday this week. And I realize, okay, no, we got to go back to Sunday to Sunday. These are the things, and over time, family and friends start to see, like, to break family and friends mindsets, you have to do something that's unnormal. The unnorm for them. They know plenty of people that have done what you are doing, not on the scale that you're trying to get to. Once you start breaking through thresholds that, like, your family and friends didn't think that you would get to, even them start to look at you different. Like, yeah, we had people in the family that rap, but they didn't make it to where you made it. And that's where it's just like, those were the things when I was having these times where it was like, man, I'm stuck. How can I get over this? That was my ambition. That was my motivation. That was my fire. Oh, you don't think I'm gonna do it? Okay, great. That's friends. Now it's from family. Oh, like, oh, you saw what happened? You ain't even hit me up to say congrats? Bet. Let me go back to work and give you something even bigger now. And that's why doubting, when people would doubt, that's what got me up out of that hole. Keep doubting me. I'm gonna keep showing.
Yeah, most definitely. Do you believe the struggles you face had a purpose?
It's who I am. It's who money it is. Money doesn't mean greatness. Without the struggle, there is no me. Period. And the thing about the struggle that this is the thing about the struggle. People sometimes, I feel like to compare their struggle to other people's struggle. I didn't understand, like, when I go look up the word struggle, it doesn't say struggle is a comparison to other people's struggle. So if your struggle was worse than this person, see where I'm going with this? Yes, struggle means a hard time. It does not matter. Some people's struggle is just harder than others. So what I realize is that through this brand, I want to connect with people that it does not matter about the color, where you come from, your background, what you've been through, none of that. Because we all go through something. What I want people to understand is that it's where you're trying to go. See, people get so stuck in the struggle. And that's why you have generational struggle through family and families and families. But see, people don't realize this because there's no one in the family that's doing something outside of the norm to see these things and listen. No, they keep listening to the negative things that kept them in the struggle. Okay, great. I understand that I'm struggling, but this doesn't mean I need to be here for my entire life. Like, we don't need to have the mansion, but let's just try to get a nicer apartment. Even if it's a 1-bedroom. See, people get comfortable in the struggle sometimes. And when you get comfortable in the struggle, that's when you start, it's all the same. This is what you get from the struggle. What? I don't know who told you that, but it's not true. And again, I'm not belittling the struggle. Other people's struggle, some people really have it hard. And it takes a lot more. That just takes a bigger heart and a lot more grind. You just got to work. And there's people that have came from that type of struggle and look where they are now. That is just the thing about life. We all go through things. But when you learn not to compare yourself to someone else's struggle, but lean on somebody that has a struggle, now y'all become a crutch to each other. And now it's not about whose struggle is worse. Now it's two people that are in the struggle motivating each other to get out of the struggle. And that is what it's about. There's been plenty of times where I was struggling in my own apartment, having a almost getting kicked out, paying, like I said, paycheck to paycheck, sacrifices,
Mm-hmm.
eating like literally my favorite thing is yogurt. Like I love
Mm-hmm.
yogurt. I don't know why, but it
Mm-hmm.
is like my favorite thing.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I would just be eating yogurt, fruit snacks, noodles.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Because the dream was more important to me, but I always knew like, hey, this is just a period in my time. My lights is on, bills is paid, water's running, got a roof over my head. I'm all right. And that's why it always sounds like these stars and people that make it to the top. They make it, it all sounds the same. If you rarely ever listen to them, they all, I came from eating out the pot. You know, the real ones, the ones that you can look at and you can see like, yes, he's authentic. And I'm not just talking about rappers. I'm talking about actors, actress, people, athletes that made it. And you can tell it was a struggle. But that's why it sounds the same, because it comes from the struggle. Somebody in the family got tired of struggling. And they're like, you know what? I don't want to pass this down again. So I'm going to go out here and break that. And I'm going to work hard. I'm going to put the fam on my back. And I'm going to go out here and do this every day. I'm going to go out here and practice every day. I'm going to go out here and hear no, 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 until I hear a yes. And then no, 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 yes. That person is what breaks the struggle. Along with that, because people hate change. So along with that struggle break is going to come some new problems. But that's where you see like, okay, it's not all about like you can come from something. And that's why things sound cliche when it comes from people that are successful. And I was just having this conversation with my boy literally before I got on here, that we all come from something. But it's understanding that it's like constantly doing it every single day, breaking that chain is what allows people to see that it's just like, great, like this can happen and it can be different. But it, again, all starts with, and it usually generates from the struggle.
There's two different kind of people. There are those who are running towards success, and there are those who are running in place. You can run all you want, but if you're running in place, you ain't getting nowhere.
Oh,
that's why when you were talking about generational struggles and generational curses, you can see that for generations, a lot of families are used to living life with a limit. They don't want to break limits.
Nope.
They don't want to, oh, I'm going to be successful. I'm going to, it's few. There are few people, in all families who breaks those limits. And like you said, it's difficult because everybody has them in the family. Those who always come and say, oh, that's not what you do. Or they judge you for your past. Or they say, well, we didn't go to college, so we don't think you're going to college. They don't have no vision because that's how they were raised. That's all they've seen. You have people that have been living all their lives in a certain neighborhood, and they've never left the state. So they don't know what's out there.
Nope.
They don't know. They haven't experienced the world. So they've been stuck in them environment for years, that it's like when they finally have someone in their family that go to college, become somebody, they automatically start judging them. Oh, you think you better. Oh, you think you better than me. Why? Because I sacrificed and struggled and broke the family generational curses and struggled so I could be successful. So I definitely understand where you were coming from.
And that's That's like the main thing. And it's like, throughout life, man, I know there's probably people that hate, and I would hope there's family, I don't have any family that's, hating on anything that I'm doing in
Mm-hmm.
the background talking, but there probably is. And it's like those are things that you just can't worry about.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
like people love to talk, and it's like in the same sense, I feel like everybody on this earth has a talent and a gift. And everybody has one life. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
some people position themselves, they go through life, and some, for the unfortunate, which is never good, their dream is taken from them. And it's like, in that sense, it's, it sucks at that point. But then there's others that just don't find the motivation to just want to do anything. They're just comfortable with what they are doing. And then you have people that, step into the dream. They're doing it, and maybe it didn't go as quick for them as they want, and they just give up on doing it. And it's like, that's why money doesn't mean greatness to me, because it's never too late to do anything. Like, now, of course, you can't be 70 trying to make it into the league, but if there's something that you wanted to do, if there's something that interests you for whatever age limit that you are at, do it.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? Like, we are in an age of, I say, why not? Why not do it? Like, why not give it a shot? You got people that are on the internet acting like NPCs, not even real people that are on TikTok just
Mm-hmm.
doing acting like other people.
Mm-hmm.
But you mean to tell me, like, it took me time to understand that. Like, there are people acting like NPCs,
Mm-hmm.
getting gifts and doing animations to them. And I'm worried about what somebody's thinking if I post a motivational video and this man is making hundreds of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
This man's got 10,000 people watching him go, thank you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
thank you for the rose. Like, are you
For hours.
serious?
Mm-hmm.
My man is in full sweat. He's got on a white beater, sweating bullets. It is 87 degrees outside.
Mm-hmm.
And this man's not caring about what anybody is saying. What am I doing? That's when it hit me. And that is like social media is almost like, it's like a double-edged sword. And if you learn the secret about it, that's when it becomes into your benefit. Social media is not about, look at what I have.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I solely believe that social media is about, like, look what you can do. That's what, to me, social media is. Hey, look, well, you work hard enough, you can be a rapper. Hey, look, you work hard enough, you can be an athlete. Hey, look, you work hard enough, now you can be a streamer. Like, all of these things, but it's going into these niches and finding, like, okay, what is somebody that's doing something different, that stands out, that's not just the same exact thing that everybody else is doing, but is actually positive. Something that is pushing people into the direction of, like, hey, like, you definitely can do that, but you don't need to do it the way that you thought you needed to do. Like, money doesn't mean greatness to me. Like I said, means you wake up every day and you do what you love to do. The motivation, the determination, like I said, the ambition to do it every single day, regardless if you're getting paid for it or not. And that is why I tell people, we all have to make money. But the difference between me and money doesn't mean greatness. That's just not my sole purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not just focused on I've given more money out to do what I want to do. There's been times where I've done things for free multiple, like, if everything always was attached with the price, trust me, you wouldn't be as you're not going to get as far in the world when it comes to things if you always expect just because you've done this to be paid for something. No, I've been able to do some of the most coolest things in the world because of the simple fact somebody asked me to do something and I just did it. And they were like, oh, hey, just because I've had a little bit of status or I've done some things, I didn't charge them for it. They were just like, yo, I appreciate it. And then they gave me something that was 2 times better than what I thought it would be.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that is the whole, when we tie back to, you know, how you were saying family limiting you, barriers. When you start breaking through these barriers of family not believing in you, friends not believing in you, my number one thing that I always tell people, strangers actually become more than family, than your own family.
I agree. Tell me more about your brand so when the viewers can see where they could, you know, reach out to you and being able to check out your brand.
Yeah. So all of my socials, you can find me at Kidcali MDMG, and that is KIDCALIMDMG. And then also the website, of course, which is going to be MDMG. The G spells out greatness.com. So MDMG, greatness spelled out.com. On there, you know, like I said, there's obviously this hoodie right here, which is the MDMG hoodie. And then also let you see the back real quick. Kind of has the money doesn't mean greatness on the back. Then I have like crew necks and then long sleeve because it's kind of cold right now. But the main thing of the site, it's not a merch site. It has merch on it, but the site is really, it's the platform of the brand. The brand is what signifies, like I said, money doesn't mean greatness. This is not just a merch brand. It is a household name. I want it to be as big as Gatorade, as big as Nike, you know, getting the youth to understand that don't glorify what you see on social media. Some of the people that you've looked up to, that you see, I don't do any of the things that they do. And you see me standing right next to them taking pictures in the same exact spot that they are. That's what it's about. MDMG is about believing in you, understanding that you can take it as far as you want to take it. It's not easy. It is not. A lot of people are like, man, you say it's so easy. That's because I've been doing it for years. When you do something for years, I mean, you start to just say it so easily. But it's not easy. It takes a lot of hard work to believe in yourself and wake up every single day when you think something, you put all your hard time into it. You put a lot of crafting into it and it doesn't pan out how you want it to. And those are the days where you have to look at yourself in the mirror and understand, like, okay, great. You got to wipe off the dust, wipe away the tears, and get back to the drawing board, because it's never a loss. Like, I don't take losses. It's just a lesson. And that's what life is. Life is lessons. You go through life learning lessons. And when you learn your lesson, you learn to either not make that mistake again, or you learn a valuable lesson from it to then help you grow to move on. So it's a lot. And I would say probably this year, just really focused on, like I said, you know, getting the brand out there, getting people attached to it, and wanting to work with, like I said, you know, kids this year, when it comes to like summer camps and, you know, the YMCA, Boys and Girls Clubs, doing motivational speaking, trying to get into my high school as well. So it's just, brand is growing right now, and we're just loving what we're doing. And then the last thing as well, kind of like a side page to the brand. So obviously the brand page is going to be MDMG Greatness, just how like the website is. And then also the other page, which is Let's Have a Talk. That is the other page that's kind of like that bridges the brand and everything together, which is kind of like a secondary page of the brand, which is doing very good. Which is kind of crazy. You know, the last 3 months, my manager was like, hey man, like we really need to get into, you know, content. We really need to start posting every day. And it's like, you know, I've had that page for a little while. But I just really started taking it serious within the last like 3.5, I would say 4 months, posting every day, growing that page from, like I said, 700. It was about 724 to about over 7,000 now. And we're constantly growing, like, you know, week after week. But that's pretty much where you can find me, website and all socials.
If someone watching this video is feeling stuck and broken, going through a struggle, what would you say to them?
I would say it's okay. Life does that to us sometimes. And sometimes, you know, life has its way of slowing us down and getting us to sit down and, you know, realize like, what can we do in this situation? Like, is there some self-growth? Am I hanging around people that are keeping me in this position? Like, is my relationship with the man upstairs where it needs to be? You know, do I believe in myself? Do I love myself? You know, these conversations and questions you have to ask yourself. And it's okay if you don't have the answer to them, because you might not have the answer to it right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going through a hard time, first thing I will tell you is being honest with yourself and understanding, why are we having this hard time? And take account. If you're part of the reason, you be honest. Because honesty, again, if you cannot be honest with yourself, you're not going to be honest with anybody else. And that's where it would start with yourself, sitting down, just having conversations and just seeing what's going on. And from there, picking your head up and understanding that not every day is going to be perfect. But as long as you're waking up every day and trying to become 1% better, just 1%, you'll start seeing a change in time, because it's not going to happen overnight, but it can happen if you believe in yourself, keep moving forward, and just put 1% every single day.
Well, Kidcali, I appreciate you for this conversation and for taking the time to be on this podcast, my brother. God bless you in your endeavors, and we'll definitely stay in touch.
Of course, I definitely appreciate you for having me, Joey.